Welcome, welcome, welcome to Two Brothers and an Idea. I'm Ferdinand, the bringer of balance, leader of many disciplines, and one of the hosts of Two Brothers and an Idea. And I got the infamous, the awesome, the great Teton here with me.
Man, listen, it's good to be here. It's better than being told, "Hey, did you get in any trouble today?" Well, what did he do? You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to have conversations. It reminds me of my father. When I was out with my dad, and people would come in and say, "Hey, this is your son," and he'd be like, "Did he do anything wrong? Is he okay?" So it's always glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to the conversation, man. I appreciate this platform and opportunity, so it's always great. Dallas is wonderful, and I'm sure Virginia is doing well as well.
Absolutely. Shout out Virginia. Shout out 757. Shout out Dallas. Shout out Texas. Shout out Miami. Shout out New York. Shout out San Francisco. Shout out LA. Shout out Salt Lake City. Shout out Phoenix. Shout out St. Louis. Shout out Chicago. Shout out Frankfurt. Shout out Beijing. Shout out Johannesburg. We out here. All right. So today
That's it.
we're going to be focusing on accessing generational wealth. Right. This is a conversation that all of us need to have. We need to talk about this on a regular basis. What is generational wealth? How do we access it? How do we manifest it, right? And we brought an expert to the building today. We brought an expert to the podcast today. This woman that we have brought to the podcast today, she is an expert in commercial real estate. She is an expert in manifesting generational wealth. I'd like to bring the talented Shanisha Ferdinand to the stage.
Hey,
How you
hey,
doing,
hey.
Shan?
I'm good. I'm good. You got to excuse me. I'm in my car, but I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, we were very thankful that you came out and you know you're about to give us a measure, you're about to give us some great information. But before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, especially with Black Lion Realty?
So I am co-broker owner of Black Line Realty. We are a real estate firm in Newport News, Virginia, and so we help sell, buy, rent, commercial and residential real estate, and we focus on the Hampton Roads area.
Awesome, that is amazing. Now, accessing generational wealth. How do we achieve that in our community?
Are you asking me?
Absolutely, you're the expert today.
Okay. Well, I would say, I would say get educated. Educate yourself on wealth. Educate yourself on finances. Educate yourself on the resources. Go looking for the information. It's out there. Um, the biggest thing is to just get educated. Be thirsty for knowledge. Be
Sure.
thirsty for information. Because it's there.
Okay. Generational wealth can be a lot of different things. You can have
Mhm.
you could have monetary generational wealth. Maybe there's mental generational wealth, or maybe it's intellectual. Maybe it's spiritual generational wealth. In your experience, how have you manifested generational wealth? How is your family manifested generational wealth, and how could we move forward in a space like that to kind of get some of those wins?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, generational wealth can be, spiritual, mental, financial, and I think that my family and I we focus on taking care of our physical selves. We have committed to living more active lifestyles because we want to live to enjoy that wealth, and we want to pass the wealth on to our children. We want to live to see our children enjoy the wealth. So we live an active lifestyle, and we try to take care of the body by eating right. We take care of our mental health. We don't always stick to the regimen, but we try to meditate, and to focus on what's good and to be grateful, and to express gratitude. So we take care of the emotional, the mental, and physical. So we also invest in ourselves. We as I mentioned earlier, you go out, you look for knowledge, you seek for more information, And so we are always investing in ourselves. We're always looking for what we can learn from other people. We surround ourselves with people who are where we want to be. And we're sponges, and we soak in that information. We soak in whatever it is that they have to say. We soak it in. So
You know, that's
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 that's an
in a
extraordinary.
nutshell.
That's an amazing response, because a lot of times when you hear people talk about generational wealth, um, the conversation is left with thinking about resources, money, and finances. I like the idea that you implemented the physical health, the healthy living, because a lot of times we can have all the wealth but not be healthy in how we take care of this body, which means we don't see the fruits of our labor in full capacity. So I think the mental, the physical, as well as being able to position yourself to have the resources and do the things that you need to do for your family and to maintain that healthy living is an amazing perspective on generational wealth. And mind you, we were talking offline, me and Ferdinand, about it. And these are some of the things we're talking about. So I appreciate you sharing that.
No problem. To us, wealth is a mindset, and wealthy people are multifaceted, and they take care
Right.
of not only the money, but as Ferdinand mentioned, they take care of their physical. They take care of the mental. They take care of the emotional. We're multifaceted beings. And so we have to take care of each aspect or each part of ourselves.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's a
Absolutely.
mindset.
That's a big piece right there, is taking care of self. Because if we're gonna manifest any kind of wealth, we've got to focus on self first. Self is always going to be what creates the opportunities for wealth, the opportunities for those great relationships, those opportunities for more money, or even those opportunities for success in the spiritual walk, right? But it all comes back
Absolutely.
to balance. It all comes back to eating well. It all comes back to meditation. It all comes back to proper water and sunlight intake, as well as goals. So
Yeah.
all of these
Mhm.
things come into play, and then when our challenges, the heavy ones, come, that have housed our treasures, right? The challenges that are the heaviest, they have the biggest treasures waiting for us in them, right? Well, for us to crack those things open, we've got to be prepared. What do you
Oh,
think about that?
absolutely. I think that's a great way to look at it. You mentioned the being willing to crack those things open, and the heaviest those issues, they actually allow for opportunity. And I sometimes those opportunities or the resources or the wealth does not manifest itself in physical form. Sometimes
Sure.
from those difficult situations, we learn lessons. We gain more knowledge. We learn how to do things better. We learn how to, just how to. So it's not always about monetary or something tangible. A lot of times it's about what we can gain here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come through, Shan. Um, I'm gonna be hitting you back up on a regular basis. I'm gonna be sending you the link, like, hey, come on up in here. We talking about real estate. We talking about this. We talking about that. You need to come on up in here. But thank you so much for coming through. Really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Teton, you got any
No
closing
problem.
words for Shan? You got any questions for Shan?
I think her presence and the little bit that she had an opportunity or made opportunity to share pretty much spoke volumes. I mean, you can
Yes.
listen to many people talk about generational wealth, but as I was listening to her share, I just find it extraordinary when you think about the mind, body, and soul. And a lot of times we get caught up in all of these material things, these living beyond and above our means, and pursuing what seems to be happiness. But you won't find that happiness till you find that peace of mind, right? That
Right.
physical, healthy, getting up in the morning, enjoying that sunlight, spending that time, really processing through your day. So I just appreciate what she shared. She shared very little words, but those words spoke volume. And I think it's a good launching pad for this conversation. So I appreciate your share.
Well, before we
No
before we
problem.
let Shan go, all right, everybody out there, please like, share, comment, subscribe, love, all those things, right? But make sure you go to blacklionret.com. Go on over there and show some love to the Black Lion family. They're right over there by Dodge's Chicken on Jefferson Avenue in Newport News, Virginia,
Jefferson.
and they're doing some special things for our people. What you say, Shan?
I just said off of Jefferson Avenue, down the
Yep,
street from Dodgers.
Jefferson
Like you said,
Avenue.
if you see Dodgers, then you'll see us. So we're there.
Y'all come on over there. Y'all show some love. Y'all need some real estate help. Listen, these are some of the best professionals on the East Coast when it comes to real estate. Okay, y'all get on over there and y'all
Thank
talk
you.
y'all talk to Shan. Y'all talk to Carrie. Okay, they got some great information and they're looking out for the people. All right. Hey Shan, you take care. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for coming through. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Same to you.
Thank you. Man, that was
All right,
dope,
so
man.
hey, thank you, bro. Hey, check this out, man. We got another guest. We got another guest. I got to bring him to the stage. This brother and
Okay.
I, we met in Cuba. We met in
Okay.
Guantanamo Bay. All right.
Okay.
This brother's name is Travis Niles. He is one of the best financial professionals on the planet. Let's bring him to the stage. What's going on, brother? How you doing? You there? Ah, look at that. Ain't
I
see
love
you in
the
a
shirt.
while,
Love
man.
the
How you
shirt.
doing, man? Hey,
Shirt go
T-Time.
hard.
Hey, T-Time, this is one of your sailor buddies right here, bro.
Yeah, that
Y'all,
shirt go
yeah,
hard.
Navy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice to meet you.
Peace. Nice to meet you too, sir.
Yeah, I'm Travis. What's your name?
My name is Tetaun.
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 Tetaun. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So we
Yes,
we
sir.
we 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 kind of like cousins in a sense because you go by Teton and I go by Tea Time.
Oh wow. Hey, T-Time, hey, this dude right here, man, I gotta give him some love, man.
Yes,
This
sir.
was one of my nemesis on the basketball court in Cuba, man. We played in so many basketball tournaments, and I ain't gonna lie, man. His team used to crush us, man. And I used to get some buckets, but they had the team, man. You know what I'm saying? I had like not necessarily LeBron ability, right? But I was doing pretty good on my team, but they had the Golden
Yeah.
State Warriors. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
We was
Uh-oh. They had
we
it
was
like that.
Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, bro. They had the team, man. They had the best players on Guantanamo Bay on their squad, you know, and I always had to play against these guys. I'm just sitting back like, dang, man. You know, I maybe I might get lucky and shut Travis down. Nah, his
Now what
homeboy
year
scoring
was that,
25.
Travis? What year was that, Travis?
Let me see. That was in 2010 to 2012 time frame.
Yeah, I
Oh
was there
man.
2012 to 2013. So you must have been there for like 3 years.
No, I was only there for 18 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I just made the best of that time and it felt like 3 years.
Yeah, man. Hey, so today our topic is on accessing generational wealth, right?
Mhm.
So what do you got to give us when it comes down to generational wealth? Because when it comes down to finances, I know you are the guru.
Whew. What do I have to give when it comes to
Yeah,
generational?
in knowledge. What do you got? You know, what do you think on generational wealth? You know, what knowledge you got to give us today?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And to be frank, you know, for us to be able to have an opportunity to speak on a platform like this, I've realized that the more that I've learned about generational wealth is the more that I realize that there are more to learn about generational wealth. So I believe that with us coming together as a people, we all put our heads together, right? Because, you know, we have like minds. So if we are able to put our heads together in collaboration more than competition, there's so much wealth that we all could bring to the table. But the reality of it is there's a fast track that we found through the life insurance industry. You know, you hear a lot of these rappers and stuff talking about generational wealth now. It's like all over TikTok and family banks and life insurance. You know, we got into this game over a decade ago where we weren't really, it wasn't really popular to talk about. Right. And we still made, you know, pretty great success and have helped many other people achieve great success in relationships. But I think that we're heading towards the right direction right now, and I love that we're able to come together as people and bring all these different collaborations to the field. So the way that we can really get on a fast track is understanding how to utilize the power of these tax codes that they have through life insurance to be able to build more generational wealth. And we've just really had an opportunity to just be in a position to just provide that type of education.
That is awesome. Hey, Brother Tetaun, I know you got something over here. What you got?
I am sitting here observing, listening as a student more so than anything else. These conversations again have many prongs, and we don't spend enough time really understanding the other aspects of it. Even when you talk about the finance, right? So most people, when you hear generational wealth, all you hear is about money, success, and being, having things and accessible things and businesses and things like that. But imagine if you have an unhealthy mind, right? You're physically unhealthy, but you have the material assets, the money, the wealth. And I'm always curious to ask the question, how does that go over? You understand? When we talk about balance, mind, body, and soul, or even having the reverse of that, right? So I have no money, or I don't have a wealth of money, but I have a wealth of wisdom, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of patience, a wealth of gratitude, a wealth of understanding, a wealth of healthy living and eating, and then being able to marry those things into building a strong family complex, man. What do you need me to say? This is good information.
Hey, Tetaun. Hey, brother Travis. We only got maybe one more question we could ask him. If you got something, let's ask him real quick because he's got to run.
Oh no, I'm good. I just made a statement. It's nothing more to ask.
Okay.
I'm good.
Got you. Okay. Hey, well, brother Travis, while you're here,
yeah,
I see your business is called Ferdinand's Friend, and I think that's a really dope business. Stick with that. Hey, your microphone's off, and what I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, is tell us how we can support you. What websites do we need to go to? What social medias do we need to follow? Give us all that right now.
Well, if I'm in any room with Tetaun and Fernando, my number one business is being Ferdinand's friend.
I'm with that.
All right. So with that being said, I would say that this was an amazing experience for me, and I'm humbled to even just be in a room like this. I think the best way to find me is through Tetaun and Ferdinand. Go through them. Let's continue to build the platform and the vision that they have, because where we're going right now is, I was looking at, can I share this real quick with you guys, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I was looking at the percentages of, what's the percentage of the US wealth that's Black, right, in our country, and what's like the median income for Black America, like all these different questions I was looking up. So I think I believe in my heart that where you guys are going right now towards the direction of really just bringing us together as a community. Let's continue to build this platform that these two lovely brothers and probably a team behind them is doing, because we could really make up a difference in this Black household income, right? They say the Black household wealth increased from 12.7% to only 15.5% of median white household wealth between 2019 and 2022. So a 3% increase over the last, 3 years, right? So they're saying that our median income right now, median Black net worth income, is $44,900.
Yeah, that's not gonna get it done.
Nah.
Yeah, we got to step that up. I'm glad you brought those numbers to the table, my brother, because these are the kind of things that we need to be discussing and figuring out ways to solve these types of problems.
Absolutely. So I would say, if I could just, just express our gratitude once more. Let's funnel through the idea that we can bring more tax professionals to the table. We could bring more CPAs. You know what? We could bring single moms to the table. I don't even know I know what the vision is, right? And I see it. We've been friends for so long that, I see it. And we could really create an avenue for us to really expand in the worlds that we need to, right? That we could really take this thing to another level. Maybe go from $44,000 a year to, let's just say, if we increase that, I think we could quickly get to 100,000
Absolutely. I think we could get to 400,000 per family,
quickly,
but these
and
are,
then get
yeah.
there and get to 1.1, and think about generational wealth as we continue to build our net worth. The net worth is the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, brother Travis, listen,
Thank
man,
you.
we really, really appreciate you coming to the platform and giving these jewels and gems. We definitely gonna have to get you to come out here again, man, because you spitting them kind of facts. Listen, you got to have more time to spit more facts. Like, we need that in the community. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe next time I will share exactly different strategies on, wealth building principles, how to get to a six-figure income, seven-figure income, how to then build that passively, and then teach other people how to do that. Like, yeah, next time we could talk about like the how-to stuff, but let's continue to grow. Let's invite more people, guys. I would love to see that. Let's double and triple those numbers on our next meetup.
That would be amazing. Hey, and y'all heard them, all right? Everybody out there, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that. Y'all heard him. He said that if y'all want to get some of this knowledge that he got, and he got a whole lot of it, you got to come through me and Tetaun, okay? We got to get our cut. No, I'm just joking. Thank you, brother. You take care, man. Thank you so much.
That's the best part about friends, okay? The best part about real friends is that you'll never have to worry about your cut, because your cut will always be greater than the friend that's cutting it.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, take care, brother.
Wealthy man. So I appreciate that.
Salute to you, man.
All righty. See you guys. Hey, next time. I apologize. I got to run.
No doubt.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
So when it comes down to generational wealth, I think about I think about like a collection of things simultaneously. I'm thinking about, like I was saying before, I'm thinking about spiritual walk. I'm thinking about intellectual walk. I'm thinking about physical health, right? But then it's also spiritual health. It's also mental health. It's also physical health. It's also finance. It's also relationships. It's also influence, right? Generational wealth is multifaceted, in my opinion. What you think, Brother Tetaun?
I can agree with that. I also believe that before one will have access, I think we have to do a detox. And what I mean about a detox, meaning that for generations, we've been doing, many of us have been doing things by word of mouth, by lack of information, in terms of health, in terms of mental health and well-being, but especially is how we handle our resources and monies. So I think there comes a time where we have to really do an evaluation with how we're handling what we have and being able to manage what we have. And sometimes we get in the rat race, right? Everybody wants a slice of the pie. And so what I'm learning through these conversations and a lot of things that I'm experiencing in life is that you have to find out what's not working and go back to the drawing board and fix it. Because if you keep doing the same thing, the cliche, you never get to the solution. You never get to find out how to grow. Imagine eating something that's unhealthy for a long period of time. Imagine thinking about things that are unhealthy for a long period of time. And imagine how you manage, spend, and access your resources, your monies, and your finances the wrong way for a long period of time. What do we have? Is that a generational curse that some may say? Or is that just how we do things in the neighborhood, right? So I just think that the detox that we experience is just doing a self-evaluation, getting the counseling, getting the mentorship, accessing the kind of help that we need in order for us to successfully gain access to those steps that we need to take to obtain levels of generational wealth, mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, man. I really agree with that. When I think about generational wealth, what also comes to mind for me is compound momentum,
Uh-huh.
compound interest in human energy. So it goes back to what you were just saying about healthy living, balance, and all these different types of things. If we're going to have generational wealth, that could be likened to the equivalent of compound momentum of energy.
Right.
And if we are to have compound momentum, well, that requires consistency, and then that
Absolutely.
takes us back to the detox. There's detoxification methods for physical health. There's detoxification methods for mental health. Then there's detoxification methods for spiritual health. I would say every religion on the planet has a plan for every single one of those that I just called out. And if we operate within whatever our chosen religion is, and we live by those principles, we live by those universal laws and morals and ethics that are taught within our chosen religion, I think that we start to move down that path of the detoxification that we need to have to manifest generational wealth.
As you were speaking, I was reminded of a passage in scripture, in the Bible, as David was experiencing the consequences of his behavior and actions. And he cried out, he said, God, Father, create in me a clean heart and renew the right spirit in me, right? So as you talk about faith, religion, and different things like that, there's always a marriage between what is a separation between those things that are physical, those things that are spiritual, right? And so if you're more concerned about your physical well-being and less concerned about what's happening to you spiritually, then we're behind the ball, right? So that's why I posed the question, and it was a rhetorical question, of course. In the previous conversation, you could have all the money in the world, but not peace of mind. That tells me that you're in balance. So now your decisions and choices that we make, because we're not, obtaining this kind of generational access or generational wealth, it becomes a bit problematic, and it goes unnoticed, right? It often goes unnoticed. So I just appreciate the guests coming on and sharing those different perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
All right, shout out to Shan and shout out to Travis. Definitely some great information. But
Absolutely.
when we think about the access to generational wealth, or the lack thereof, that access, it does have a lot to do with, or almost everything to do with, how we consume, how we live.
Right.
Because our energy levels are determined by how we live, our lifestyle.
Right.
The relationships that we have in our life. If we want to have generational wealth, well, generational wealth is technically it's a positive thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a bunch of negative people around you and a bunch of negative things around you, you may be manifesting generational curses, and generational wealth may be off the table until a person decides, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and let go of these things that aren't serving. I'm gonna let go of these people that aren't serving. And when we take the time to let go of things and have that sacrifice, well, doors open. We start to grow. And when we grow, what happens is awareness is multiplied in our minds. Awareness is multiplied in our experience. Well, if you are more aware, you're going to see the way forward. You're going to see the pitfalls. You're going to see the barriers. You're going to see all these different things that are a problem in your experience, and you're going to see the wins. You're going to see exactly what it is you're looking for. And it is because of awareness. But to have more awareness, a person would first have to take the time to sacrifice. They would have to let go, right? So earlier today, I was talking to my homeboy, Maurice Pennington Bay, on the Love, True Peace, Freedom, and Justice podcast. And I talked to him about the painting, or the picture that's on many walls in so many institutions throughout America, right? You've seen it before. It's a painting of Yeshua, a European Yeshua, and a little girl, right? So the little girl, she has this old beat up little teddy bear. The button on the eye is gone. The stuffing is coming out the side and everything. But she loved this bear though. She sleep with the bear every night. She tell the bear, "I love you," and she hold the bear real tight to her chest like this, right? But then she's standing in front of Yeshua. And she's holding this bear with two hands. She holding him tight too, because she think Yeshua trying to take this bear from her. She's like, "No, listen, you ain't taking nothing from me. I will fight for this bear." Okay, this is the picture. Okay, this picture is in so many institutions all over the United States. All right, but see, Yeshua, he's got his hand out, and he's like, "Hey, go ahead and give me the bear. Let go of the bear, right?" And behind his back, he got the chinchilla bear. He got the bear that you gotta hit all them extra bottles off at the carnival with the baseball over and over again to get this special bear. This is the big one. This is a special one. This is the one everybody wants, right? And she has to first let go of the bear that she loves to have that blessing, right? Well, what is that? It's the beginning of generational wealth. Why? Because first you have to sacrifice, and then you have to trust. And if you do both of those, what is for you will fall right in your lap. And in my opinion, that's generational wealth.
Well, I think that's a good way of perceiving it. The way you kind of crafted that picture to give your perspective. I also believe that generational wealth is not necessarily obtained. I think it's earned. If we talk about it in its bigger picture, meaning that it takes work and sacrifice, as you mentioned earlier, to achieve just the bare minimum of when you're trying to eat healthier. We are being advertised quite frequently with multitudes of different things that are not healthy, right? And then when you think about what we consume as entertainment and how those stories that are being told about our community, right? We keep consuming those narratives. And the more you consume those narratives, the more you consume those things that are negative, then what is it that we have to build upon? So we have to do a detox. And it's very difficult at times, but the reward is much greater when you sacrifice yourself. That selflessness, that desire to not only build for me and my family, existing family, but I'm also here to build for my children and my children's children. I go back to the last guest, and I'm going to land my plane. Mind, body, meaning our physical body, also our souls, the state of humanity, and where we see ourselves as leaders in our community, leaders in our home. This wealth that I think that we seek to obtain just really goes beyond the idea of being rich and wealthy. Everybody wants to have money, but I want to have a sound mind, right? I want to have a balanced life. I want to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor, because the sacrifice, the harder you work, the more you commit to building a strong foundation. When you look back on it, you're going to be excited because this is the effort that I put into this, right? And now I'm handing these jewels down to my children. And as my children receive this knowledge that I received from my parents or from those leaders or those people that have mentored and taught me as well, I think you start seeing the equity, the numbers start to build, right? The success begins to duplicate itself. And so those things bring me great pleasure to learn and grow and observe, man. I appreciate conversations like this because it forces you to think outside of the box. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I agree. That's a great measure. Really appreciate that. I think that helps us to segue to our next portion of the show. But before we go into it, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that, right? Support the show. Hit that description. We got some links down there. Click on them links. Go see what we got in there. All right. Absolutely. Y'all support. All right. But we want to give y'all some value. All right. We about to close out real soon. We want to give y'all a little bit of value. So I'm about to go ahead and share my screen. I want to show y'all something very, very special. Okay, let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. All right, I want to tell y'all about the 12 things that make you rich. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. So this information comes from uh Napoleon Hill's book Think and Grow Rich. Now he may have got it from other sources, but I would just say that this is where I'm getting it from. Now we're also using another person's website that we really appreciate, Darcy Benencosa. But so she's got the 12 things up here, and I like the way she has them set up. So the very first one is your mindset. So in the book Think and Grow Rich, uh, the very first one is a positive mental attitude, and it's pretty much the same thing. A positive mental attitude is a mindset, right? And if you have a mindset that is highly positive, or you can probably do just about anything.
yeah.
Right now, number two is your physical health. If you're
Mhm.
going to be wealthy, if you're going to be rich, if we're going to manifest generational wealth, that starts with health. That starts with
That's
spiritual
right.
health, mental health, physical health, right? Financial health, relationship health. Every type of health that we could think of, we got to keep that health great. And then what happens is now we have the energy necessary to do what's required in these challenges to be
Yeah,
able to manifest that success of generational
absolutely.
wealth. Now, having great relationships, loving relationships. This is super important for manifesting generational wealth. I'm going to go through these pretty quick. We want to live free of fear. We're living free of fear, guilt, doubt, disbelief. That is wealth when you live free of those. Number five is achieving your dreams and being able to achieve the things that matter to you. Though that's important for fulfillment. If a person wants to achieve generational wealth, everybody in their family has got to find a way to
That's
achieve
right.
their dreams. That is super, super important. When we first started this podcast, the brother Tetaun consistently talked about creating, create. He kept saying it over and over again, right? He was drilling us with it, hammering it home. Create. Well, if you're creating, what you're really creating is the pathway to the achievement of your dreams.
Uh-oh.
Now, number six is having a labor of love. All right. So that labor of love could be a few different things. It could be a labor of love in a relationship. It definitely could be a labor of love of whatever type of work that you decide to do. Right. But you need to love what you do. You need to have the capacity for faith. Number seven. All
That's
right.
right.
Now, number seven doesn't necessarily mean that a person has to practice Islam or practice Christianity or some type of religion. No, it just means that you need to have faith. You need to have faith in yourself. Have faith in your subconscious. Know thyself so you can trust thyself. Number eight is having an open mind to things. All right, being understanding, knowing that your perspective on things is not the be all to end all, and you got to take into account other perspectives. And now it gives you not only the capability to grow, it also gives you the capability to have great relationships with people by having that open mind, and then also to be aware of what's going on around you because you have an open mind. Number nine is sharing with others. This is very, very important. The law of reciprocity is something Yeshua tried his best to teach us in his lifetime. And obviously, after his lifetime, we've been reading about his story and listening to his story for a very long time. Well, what is his main story? It's about reciprocity, giving, not giving to receive, but just giving because he was focused on doing right by the people, helping them make themselves free. And as a result of him giving this way, and he wasn't looking for anything in return, oh man, thousandfold in return, millionfold in return. That's the beauty of giving without expectation of return. Number 10, self-discipline. Oh, this is massive. This is amazing. This is super important.
Yeah.
If we're going to achieve our dreams, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a systematic plan that works.
Right.
And then we're going to actually have to have the self-discipline to achieve each of those steps in the plan by their benchmark dates and times. Oh, that's the hard part right there, hitting them benchmarks. But that's necessary for us to manifest our dreams. Number 11 is the capacity to understand people. Super important. And this kind of goes back to number 8. They kind of go hand in hand. Number 8 and number 11, one is having an open mind, the other one is understanding people. And in my opinion, they're very, very similar, but we do need to take that serious. People have all kinds of different issues that they're suffering from every day. They have all kind of wins that they're winning on a daily basis, right? But they win differently than we win. They lose differently than we lose. And this requires us, if we're going to have great relationships, to understand people. This requires a lot of compassion and empathy. It requires a lot of listening to understand. The last one on the list, and I'm making sure that I help y'all understand, this is very important. It's last on the list on purpose. Without the first 11, you're more than likely not going to see 12. 12 is financial security. Everybody wants the money. But if you want the money, you got to have a positive attitude. You got to have self-discipline. You got to share with others. You got to understand people. You got to have a labor of love. You got to have good relationships. All these things matter before you start getting money if you want to hold on to the money, right? And that's the 12 things that make you rich. Brother Tetaun, what you got?
Well, I as I look over the presentation, and I think that what stood out the most to me is the conversation about faith, right? Because the way I see that as it's written, and being able, according to the Bible, if you just have a grain, just a mustard seed,
just a
little bit, right? A little bit of faith. However, that faith that you have, if it doesn't have any works, no effort, right? You're not self-disciplined. You're not strategic. You're not doing anything. Then faith without works is dead. Another thing I found interesting, and I'm going to leave it here, is the idea of healing. That healing component,
Sure.
Which I find is important because a lot of times we can have all of these wonderful things, but if you are not healed in areas of your life that may be a consequence of some of the decisions and the choices that you make, or if you're dealing with personal traumas and you choose not to get the counseling, the help that you need, then I think this journey can be a bit troublesome, right? Especially when you get down to the lower numbers. But as I look at this list 1 through 12, I find great value in it. I think it speaks to, at least for me, my experience and where I am today. And I'm sure it speaks to many other people's experiences. Now that you understand that there are multiple ways of achieving this so-called generational wealth, but it's also generational health, generational
absolutely.
mental health, right? Physical health. So that's what I got from that. And I think that's an extraordinary list. I think you need to take that information and be able to publish that, share that after this podcast conversation, be able to make some clip art, some infographics, because people need to understand and to research further to know the value of what these components are. When you talk about faith, when you talk about mental health, when you talk about self-discipline, and all those responsibilities and disciplines that go with where you're trying to go, having full of gratitude, right? Having empathy. The Bible speaks about the fruits of the Spirit, right? The Quran will speak about what it speaks about concerning how we should live. And although we're not speaking specifically to one individual religion or belief system, what I believe concerning this matter is that it's already done, right? I'm able to see these things manifest, right? But I'm not just sitting here waiting on a dream. There's some things that happen on the inside. There's some things you got to change. There's a detox. And as I go through this detox, I find it well and sometimes difficult, because here it is, man. When you're cleaning something out, Ferdinand, you know how you clean out that fish tank, or you clean out that locker with all them old camera gear in it. You may find some stuff in there that's hard to get rid of, but it's worth it, and it's worthy. Yeah. So I appreciate the list. I appreciate the insight. And of course, always the amazing guests that come on and give their perspectives as well.
I appreciate that, brother. And I think that you're right. I think that the 12 things that make you rich is something that we need to make go viral. And we need to implement it into our lives, because it's giving the answer. of the things that all we need to do is focus on those things. The first 11. We don't even need to focus on the 12. We focus on the first 11 and money will find us. It will be attracted to us, right? But we've reached our last or our second to last portion of the show. So right before our closing remarks, one of the things that we're doing is giving an improvement of the day.
Well, all for the improvement of the day, we need a good drum roll. Well, I think after sitting through this conversation and really processing some of the topic that we have already discussed and have discussed on and offline, I think one of the improvements of the day that I discovered is that being a good steward of your time. Time is valuable and time is precious, and you can never get that time back. So when I think about my time and being able to understand that in order for me to be successful, in order for any of us to be successful, it's going to require good time management. And so for the encouragement of the day, or for the word of the day, is manage your time. Find ways to make good use of your time and find the value in the time that we have here on planet Earth, because tomorrow is not promised. You understand? People leave this planet every single day, every hour, with hopes and desires. The graveyard, as the late Miles Monroe would say, is full of ideas, it's full of visions, it's full of plans. And so what I want to do as time continues, I don't want to waste my time or waste anyone else's time, because time is very valuable. So I want to encourage everyone to learn to manage your time and look at your time as precious as jewels, as precious as gold, because our time waits for nobody. And so tomorrow is not promised. So I want to encourage everyone again, man, make good use of your time.
I agree. Time management is so, so important. Monday through Friday, I read a book. I read a chapter out of a book for the Mastermind Library, right? The book that we're in right now is The Ultimate Sales Machine. And the reason why I wanted to show this book is because the very first chapter of this book is called The Time Management Secrets of Billionaires: How to Maximize Your Productivity and Help Your People Do the Same. And I think that the brother Tetaun hit on something very important. If we're going to manifest generational wealth, how we use time matters. It is the measurement tool that puts all of us equal. It doesn't matter whether you Donald Trump, you Tetaun Moffat, you Ferdinand Thomas, you Condoleezza Rice, you Barack Obama, you Beyonce or Jay-Z. It doesn't make a difference which, who the person is. Every one of us has the same amount of time every day. Nobody has more than 24 hours. Every single 24 hours is all we got. And how we use time is how we manifest the wealth. Beyonce probably has $1 billion in her bank account right now. Well, she used the same 24 hours that we use to get the billion. Barack, he became president. He used the same 24 hours that we use, and he became president using those 24 hours. He had a goal, he moved towards it, and obviously he was able to manifest. Same thing with the Beyonce, same thing with anybody else, right? And we don't necessarily got to use them. There's so many people out here who have some type of success, but the successes all come from using time wisely, understanding delegation, understanding language, understanding energy. So much of this comes together to produce generational wealth or to give us generational curses.
Well, sir, I think you hit it on the nail, but I got one autocorrect for you. Let's rewind. I heard you mention in your monologue about Yeshua.
Yes.
I discovered and understand over some time it's Yeshaya.
Oh, Yeshaya. Okay.
Yeshaya,
thank you.
Right? And so what's so beautiful about this conversation is that the value of communication.
Yes.
this has been a testament of life, being able to communicate properly. We're not always going to hit it on the right time, first and second or third time, but I appreciate the platform, how we're communicating, the understanding, the perspectives. I just want to continue to challenge you as you challenge me, and as we
Sure.
challenge our own families and our communities, is to ensure that we know what keeping the main thing the main thing. And,
Yeah.
and that main thing is what we're talking about each and every day, once a week. You know, as we preach and teach and share our perspectives, these perspectives that we're sharing must be put in practice, are in practice. And a lot of times when people talk about certain things, they're not practicing it, right? And so you don't get the real value of the experience. So as I continue to spend time with you and others, as we talk and share, I see what we talk about. It manifests in our lifestyle, in our conversations, right? And so to be able to operate in humility and love and gratitude and patience and understanding that you just have to create it, whatever it is that's in your heart and your desire, but know that it will cause great sacrifice. And in that great sacrifice comes the reward. So I appreciate you, my brother, and I appreciate the time that we share, the value of our time, and this platform and this opportunity, man. So I look forward to great opportunities to do other things and a lot of amazing things coming down the pipeline.
Absolutely. It's a brotherhood, man. We've got to all come together. All y'all brothers out there, man, watch our podcast, share our podcast, type a comment, something. Let's bring the brotherhood back together. Let's go ahead and get control of our homes. Let's go ahead and get control of our health. Let's get control of our finances. Let's get control of our everything that we need control over, all of it, no matter what it is that I'm missing. Let's get control of these things by working together, right? I got some skills that I can help y'all with, right? And then y'all got some skills y'all can help me with. Tetaun got some skills he can help y'all with. And y'all got some skills y'all can help Tetaun with. And this is how we bring everybody in the village full circle to be able to achieve generational wealth. This is how we do it. Now listen, y'all hear me? Expose your gift.